Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Linda Ziegenbein. I'm the person who emails you so often. I work at the Office of Student Success and Diversity here with the College of Natural Sciences, and I want to welcome you to our information session about commencement. I know many of you are excited. Congratulations to all of our graduating seniors. This is a tremendous accomplishment. I hope you're all taking some time this semester to savor your last semester here. I'm going to pass this over to Sam Parker, who is one of our peer advisors for the college, and he is the person who organized this event. Hey, Sam.
Hi guys. So I'm Sam. As Linda said, I'm one of the peer advisors, and I was helping along with Jane curate this kind of info session for everyone. I am a senior graduate in the B&B department. So I'm like right in the boat with you guys. I'm just gonna pass this on over so that Jane can introduce herself, and then she's gonna give you guys a really good presentation.
Okay, thank you, Sam, and congratulations to all the seniors out there. You've worked really hard, and it's really wonderful that we can celebrate you. And so let's see, do I have the ability to share my screen? We're really psyched. We're going to have real in-person parties this year. And that is like so exciting. It's been 2 years since we've been able to gather in real space and time. So it's exciting, but it's like, we have to remember, how did we used to do this? We did it virtually for 2 years. So we're kind of all remembering that together. And I'm sure there are a lot of questions that people have, because unlike high school graduations, there's not just one event. We have a whole host of events going on our campus, and they even call it graduation weekend, because there's lots going on. So let me start by framing the two big events. So there are two big ceremonies, and people have a lot of questions about them. So the first one is the university-wide undergraduate graduation ceremony. This happens in McGurk Stadium on Friday, May 13th, 4:30 in the afternoon. And there are 7,000 undergraduates who qualify to be there. They won't all be there, but many of them will. There's also a second event, the CNS Senior Celebration, and that happens the next day in the Mullins Center. And that's on Saturday, May 14th, 9 a.m. in the morning. And 1,800 graduates are qualified to be there. So, and there are some similarities for both of these events. So I'll go through that first. There are no tickets required for either event. There's no limit to the number of guests you can invite. Each of those ceremonies is approximately 2 hours long. Both of these events will be live streamed, so that family members who wish they could be there, but for some reason can't be, they can still see it as the live stream event. And there will be a video of each event afterwards posted on the website, our celebration websites. We don't know what the COVID world will look like in May, but what we do know is that we will follow all the current campus COVID protocols. So right now, we believe what that looks like is that everyone will be required to wear a mask, and that everyone will be required to show proof of vaccination or negative COVID test. And so there will be screening. There's both, and there will be security screenings, the old-fashioned kind, where they look through your bags and under your coat, as well as vaccination checks that the audience will need to go through before they enter the building. Students, if you bring your ID card, that's enough. And if you're wearing your cap and gown, they're going to figure you're a graduate. So you will be screened already because you are a member of the campus community. And yes, you do wear your cap and gown for both events. Believe it or not, that's a frequently asked question. So then those are the similarities, but what are the differences between these two events? The university commencement is the official graduation ceremony. So that is where it takes place in the stadium on Friday, May 13th. It happens rain or shine. And I have seen it when it has poured cats and dogs, and also when it has been like a summer day. So that's one consideration that you, as your family members, are asking if you, which event they should go to. If they mind weather variations, they may not want to be outside for 2 hours. But that is the official ceremony. That's the one that the chancellor attends and actually confers your degree upon you. Because there are so many students, there will be no reading of names. You will all stand up as a group, and when the degree is conferred, you move your tassel from one side to the other, and then you are a formal official graduate. This is also the event where the famous keynote speaker will speak. So you may want to attend because of that. We don't know who that is yet. They like to keep it a surprise until the last minute. And that is also where the university student speakers will give a speech. They may not be from the College of Natural Sciences, or they may, but that's what that event looks like. Then there's also the CNS Senior Celebration. That happens the next day, Saturday, in the Mullen Center. And that is a more personalized recognition ceremony. So that this is the event where every student has their name read. Every student crosses the stage and gets captured on the Jumbotron. Each student receives a medal, a medallion that's a commemorative medal for their graduation, and a gift from the college. One student speaker from each department will kind of kick off the reading of names for their department. So there are 14 departments in the College of Natural Sciences. So there'll be 14 students giving a 1-minute speech. So that kind of breaks up the name reading. And then there's a grand finale that you won't want to miss. There. So yeah. One more time. So yes, that's that's a flavor of what the senior celebration is all about. That's the event that takes place in the Mullen Center, and we pretty much fill it to the rafters. So and some students have asked, is there a rehearsal? How do we know? Do we line up alphabetically? There are no rehearsals for either event. So do be mindful. You will be receiving information and instructions as we get closer. Pay attention to the time, the arrive by time, because you don't want to be late. It takes a while to line up 1,800 students in the Mullen Center. And so the arrival time for that day is 8 o'clock. And you will have been partying the night before probably, but factor that into your plans. And just a brief overview of what, so I do the, I'm the event planner for the Mullins event. And students often want to know, well, where do I go and what do I do? So you will have worn your cap and gown the day before. If you went to that ceremony, do wear it when you arrive. When you come to the Mullen Center, arrive by that big main door, but then go down the stairs to the back of the building. You'll see a small tent. That's where you'll pick up a name card and you'll write your name. That's so the announcer can announce you. Once you have that in hand, you go to the big tent further down and you'll line up with the students from your department. And you're not going to be in alphabetical order, but you will be lined up with your department, the other students in your department. You will then parade into the building and march down the center aisle 2 by 2. So one thing you want to remember, if you want to sit with your friends, don't be marching in side by side. Make sure your friends are either in front of you or behind you, because you will follow each other into one side or the other. So you will fill up the seats, and some students may not be, if you're the last student, in the row, then you might, you might get broken up with your friend in front of you or behind you, but that's, we need, like, we pretty much fill all the chairs. It's a very big event. When your department is called up, you'll exit through the side aisle. That's where you pick up your medal, and then you walk to the photo booth. You get a professional photograph taken of you. You then walk up the side ramp to the stage and hand your card to the name reader. They will read your name and your face will appear on the Jumbotron. And then you'll exit through the center stairway and go back to your seat. So that is the basic choreography for the Mullen Center event. But wait, there's more. Those are the two big ceremonies, but there are still additional parties happening that weekend. After the Mullen Center event, every one of our 14 departments in the College of Natural Sciences will be hosting a reception for you and your family and friends. And those will be at various locations across campus. The information of where will be posted on the website. So that's also another party to go to. If you're a member of Commonwealth Honors College, they hold a celebration of excellence on the Thursday before the graduation event. And that's also in the Mullen Center at 6 o'clock. And then all of the other colleges will also be hosting senior celebrations. And those will be happening at various times and places on Friday and Saturday. If you are a dual degree major and you want to go to both events, you certainly may. It's a lot of event to go to, but that's a possibility as long as they're not happening at the same time. So there's that. And there's also a commencement ball. That's the Friday before graduation weekend. That's in the Mullen Center. So all kinds of things going on. Now, I've just kind of gone over this quickly, but there are websites that give you all the details about all these events. There's the commencement website. There's the CNS Senior Celebration website. We will have links to all the departments, so you can then see where the department celebrations are happening. There's also the Mullen Center website and the COVID site. There's the campus COVID website. You may need to check if the policies change. That's where you'll find out. And Sam's going to give you a little more information about those websites, great resources. But before that, there were a few more popular questions. I will run through those fast. So one popular question: which ceremony should I attend? And the answer is both. If you don't have to go to both, but you certainly may. Is attendance mandatory? No, you don't have to go to either of them. Are tickets required? No. Is there a limit to how many guests? No. Do I have to wear my cap and gown? Yes, please do. Will I be handed a diploma? No. It will be mailed to you at a later date. You will get a medal though, so you do get something at the senior celebration. Is there a rehearsal for either event? No. And what if we have another COVID surge? Check the websites. They will be able to give you the most current information about that. So at this point, let me hand it back to Sam. And then there's going to be time for your questions. If your questions haven't been answered yet, we'll have a Q&A.
Yeah. Okay. And I did just get a question in chat about caps and gowns. I'm going to go over that in a little bit. That was one of the most popular questions I received from the poll I sent out. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue going on. I'm going to show you guys the resources that Jane mentioned and how to kind of navigate them. Let me just share. Cool. Alrighty. So the most important resources to find information regarding commencement will be found under these two. So the top one is a university undergraduate commencement link. And the following will be for specifically College of Natural Science senior celebration. If you follow this first link, it will bring you to this page. Did that change for you guys too? Did it work, Jane? Okay, cool. All right, so it will pop up on the home page showing you a welcome sign, and then you have two categories go down, or you could follow the tabs at the top. But the best way to navigate first is, as seniors, you want to pick graduates because that's what we're going to be doing. Once you go into it, you can kind of find a good amount of information. The first bit talks about some senior services that you can use. So there's like the senior portraits. They go down and talk about a few different like things like press releases and then graduation keepsakes. But the general information is a little bit more relevant to what we're looking into. The commencement fair is important because that actually is one of the best ways to pick up your cap and gown. You also receive your tassel there. You just have to give them your height, and they'll pretty much give you your gown, and it comes out of your student fees that you've already paid. But again, I'm going to kind of review that in a little bit in more detail. For the commencement ball, this would be on Friday, May 6th. Jane mentioned this earlier. It's a nice little gala for students to go to kind of just like commemorate the 4 years of hardship you put through to get to this point. It sounds like a really good time. Looks pretty fun. There'll be light refreshments and a cash bar. It goes on to tell you a little bit more about various important details such as the cap and gown, diplomas. So this is like the website you're gonna find that information regarding like logistics. And then a lot of the questions that are very popular, the ones that I received from you guys, I found the answers to mostly from the FAQ section. So you can click it right on the top. And so it talks about pretty much everything that I was asked about tickets. You don't need them. It's kind of the first come, first serve for the seats. So it has a lot of like that good information that like has been asked pretty regularly. So that's the first website that you can find like a good bulk of the information on. And then for the senior celebration and CNS, they have their own website here. And again, it was that link from earlier I can put in the chat at the end of this presentation. This will be again updated as we get closer to commencement and to the CNS celebration. So you can continue to go back to these websites to look for more information. And yeah, so that's kind of like the basic information I get from both those websites. More importantly, we're going to go over to specific questions that were kind of outliers. Like these are the questions that I think were either the most important or that they just weren't like obvious answers. So first we can go into this question here. It says, I want to know how we will get our tassels and sashes. And I kind of joined this one with the where can I get my cap and gown? Because for cap, gown, and tassels, you can get them at the commencement fair, or you can get them the week of commencement. For your tassels, each department, I believe, or each college has their own, school college has their own color. They're listed right here. So for us in natural science, you're gonna get bright gold, which is looks like a pretty good tassel when you get there. And then, so another thing, if you're a student in the University of Mount Walls, you have to go through this link here to order your own cap and gown. Yeah, so that's pretty much the answer for that first question. For special stoles and cords, you do get those from the organization awarding them. So they'll be in contact with you about that, or if you want to be proactive and ask them ahead of time, they'll let you know if you send them a message. This is like a really good question. Hold on, can you guys hear me now? The mic just switched onto the computer. Yeah, okay. So we will be able to stay in our on-campus assignments until Sunday, May 15th. So that gives us a good amount of time to go to these celebrations, both the commencement and the CNS celebration. As for family and friends, they need to look into other types of lodging situations, which you can find on the commencement website. It will direct friends and families to different resources to look into for like how to get in the area. But again, that's like kind of you want to do that like pretty well in advance to the commencement, because everything kind of gets booked up really fast. So I'm not quite sure if they actually even are like fully booked now, but that's something to look into like earlier than a couple months before. For the email question, can we keep it? It does expire and it doesn't get renewed. So short answer is no. You have it for about 1 year after graduation. Another question was what services are available to alumni or recent UMass grads? So Jane put some links here that give you a good insight onto what kind of benefits you can get and what connections you can still maintain with the college post-graduation. I can also put these in the chat once I'm done with this presentation and with annotated list that tells you what each link is for. For the 5th question, this is a situational question. This student is finishing their CNS major, but they're also a double major, which is not an uncommon situation. They're asking about when they're going to graduate. So their graduation ceremony will be in May 2022. And this is kind of dependent on the registrar's office and the requirements if you've fulfilled them already. So to be eligible to participate in the May 2022 commencement, students must have fulfilled those requirements, and then they, or at least scheduled to do so before September 2022. And then so it goes on to say that students scheduled for February 2023 graduation who wish to attend need to contact the registrar office and request that. And Jane was mentioned earlier that they are pretty lenient for some or for various reasons, but it's always a good idea to reach out to them about what like logistics about when you can graduate. But yeah, so that kind of fulfills like the bigger questions. Everything else I was asked was pretty much answered in Jane's presentation. And then what else do we have here? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and then we're gonna open it up to a Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, I'm gonna go look in the chat and we can start answering these. Here we go. Okay, chat. Okay, do we have to purchase it on our own? You do not, no. So the caps and gowns will be, again, they're taken out of your student fees that you already pay for. So it's a part of that bill that you get each semester. Can you keep your U-card and school email after graduation? You can keep your U-card. It's not gonna like work for anything. And your email, again, it will expire after a year. If I graduate in the fall semester, how can I sign up to walk in May? If I graduate in the fall semester. Jane, correct me if I'm wrong, but if they graduate in the fall semester, do they automatically get to walk in the May semester?
Yeah, if it was last fall, or if everything is in line for the coming fall, then yes, you can walk. But if say you're actually going to finish everything by February, the February 2023 graduation, then you need to get the permission from the registrar's office. If you have questions about it, check with the registrar. But because we only have one graduation ceremony per year, everybody within that full year span qualify to walk in May.
Right.
So, and the question then is like when, if you want to make sure your name is in the official list of names of graduates, if you're off, if you're not the May graduate, then you may want to just double check to make sure your name is in the book.
All right, cool. All right. Another question, Jane. I think for these two, you probably have the best perspective on. But so first, I'm a double major in psychology and biology. My primary major is psych. So would I walk with the psych department? I believe she would, or they would just have to choose,
Correct.
right? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. The department that you feel the closest to would be the one to pick.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. And then I'm sorry if I missed the answer to this. I have a double major and CNS is my secondary major. Should I just participate in my primary major ceremonies or would I walk at the CNS ceremony as well?
Sort of the rule of thumb that the officials used to give was, you pick one.
Mhm.
Your main major is your main thing, go to that one. But again, you've worked really hard. If you feel like you really were at home at CNS, even though that was your secondary major, you could come. But it's still a lot of party. I mean, like those ceremonies are long. So if your SBS comes right after ours, and theoretically, if you're a double major and one's in each college, you could go. But that's like 4, 5, 6 hours of sitting in a stadium. Parcel your time out, kind of,
Yeah. Yeah, I could not imagine that much. All right. Do we have any other questions? Any concerns? It was really cool to see in the poll that like I had like a range from like 0 to 10 to see who was like prepared for graduation. That was like very scattered, but for like who's excited to graduate, it's like almost 90% of students were like super excited. Like I completely get it. But so we're ready to get out, but we don't know how.
if questions occur to you, as we get closer to the event, feel free to just ask me. We're trying to keep the information, the FAQs updated on the website. But
Mhm.
if you have a question and you just can't find the answer, just feel free to reach out. And I kind of am located in the CNS Advising Center. You can send an email to the CNS Advising Center box or to me.
I just wanted to say thank you. I was a little
Oh,
confused about the gown things and so on and so forth. So yeah, thank you for the fill-in.
of course. Okay, if we don't have any more questions, I think we're gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you everyone for coming tonight and participating with that Google form I sent out. It was very helpful to set up this presentation. Thank you, Jane, for working with me and to help and address these questions. Yeah, I hope everyone has a great night.